With all new pickup truck offerings from Ford and General Motors, where do the Ram pickup trucks fall in the market nowadays? Well, let's take a look and see if we can get an idea of where that might be. My particular example today is a 2012 Ram 1500 Lone Star Edition. This one is four-wheel drive and has the Hemi 5.7 liter V8. So we'll go ahead and start it up. We'll check out the interior and the exterior, and we'll take it on a quick little test drive. So anyways, here's the key for the Ram. It's just Dodge's or Chrysler's standard key design. You have your Ram badge there, panic, unlock, and lock. That's about all you get on truck keys, because you don't have a remote start on this one, or you don't have the sliding doors that the minivans have. So upon unlocking, the headlamps will illuminate a little bit to let you know where your truck is, and you also get LED puddle lamps down here, so that's a neat little touch as well. And then coming to the door handles, you can see you do have chrome door handles with body color accents. Same goes for the back of the truck. You also have an emergency entry slot should your key fob go dead. And opening up the door of the Ram, you can see this one has a gray on black, or a beige on black cloth interior. My apologies. So we'll go ahead and start it up and let it run for a little bit. And to start it, all you need to do is just insert your key into the ignition, if I can do that with my left hand, and twist to start. You can see your Ram logo pops up in the center display there. And what you're hearing, like I said, is Dodge's and Chrysler's corporate 5.7 liter Hemi V8 engine. So we'll go ahead and turn on the automatic headlamps, fog lamps, which were already on, bed lights, as well as the hazards. And as you can see, it does have an automatic down driver's side window. Doors do sound very nice and solid when you shut them. So taking a look at the overall profile of the Ram, it has a very aggressive stance, as you can see. The front end leans forward and just conveys to you that it is a truck that means business and plans to do nothing but business. But is that what it actually does? So as you can see, this one is finished in a flat white exterior. I think it complements the Ram pretty well. It distinguishes its character lines very well. Your Hemi badge right here, obviously that's how you distinguish. This one is a Hemi. And then you have a giant Ram 1500 badge down the door. And you have a little character line running down the bottom of the doors and extending into the bed there. And you also have a crease running along the top of the doors as well. One thing I am noticing is this right here does seem to be quite rippled. And I'm not really sure what the reason for that is. Maybe this is an aftermarket film, or maybe it's a warranty issue, I'm not sure. But I'm sure it could be easily taken care of. You do have tinted windows, and you also have a black body molding running up underneath the windows there. Then looking at the separation of the bed and the cab, one thing you'll notice is you do have like this little insulation slash bumper guard here. And I guess what that would be for is if the truck were to get rear-ended, or if the bed were to shift around somehow, this would keep it from scratching up the actual cab of the truck. So that is nice that they include that. Opening up the fuel cap, you just have a standard fuel cap, no easy fuel system like Ford does. Taking a look at the rims, we have 275/60 R20s, so brushed chrome finish 20-inch rims wrapped in Goodyear Wrangler HP tires. Pretty good tires. I think they are a little bit of a harder rubber compound though. They just feel kind of hard, and they do slip pretty easy, but anything's going to slip pretty easy when you have the torque of this 5.7 liter V8. Coming around to the back, you have just your standard reflector beam tail lamps with your reverse lamps down below. And one thing I'm not a huge fan of is how they incorporated the tail lamp and the turn signal. That's something that bugs me. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. You do have a chrome finish rear bumper with a faux diamond plate pattern on the top. I mean, it is actual diamond, but it's not the metal diamond plate. Chrome plated Lone Star badge there, and your huge Ram emblem there in the middle with your 4x4 badge. This one also does have the dual exhaust and sounds incredible, I have to say. You'll hear on the exhaust clip, or you will have heard on the exhaust clip rather, that this thing has a really nice grunt to it. You also have your connections for your trailer lighting. So that is nice that they include those and you don't have to do an aftermarket adapter or anything. License plate lights there. I would definitely change those to LEDs. Folding down the bed, it's not an easy lowering bed. So that is something that the new Toyota and the Ford and the Chevrolets all have. Actually, the Ford's going to have an electrically lowering tailgate. We'll see how that works. But you do have a drop-in bed liner with lots of pollen back there. And one thing I do like is your fender wells don't really intrude into the bed space that much. It's a very wide and flat bed. The tailgate is pretty light, though. I have to say, it's not really heavy to lift up like our Ford is. This one does not come equipped with the optional Ram box. And what that is just a little storage system that goes on the side of the bed, and it's a little lid that you can flip up and put your things in there, and it's a lockable compartment. Again, the 20-inch rims, they are pretty basic design, honestly, but they're not too bad at all. They accent the Ram very well. The Ram's not a huge, flashy truck. At least this wasn't. The new 2014 refresh, they are a little bit flashy, but I mean, that gives the Ram more character, therefore I like it. I like vehicles with character. Taking a look at the mirrors, they are just a black plastic finish, but you do get LED turn signals incorporated into them. I think the 2014 just went away from this antenna, but I could be wrong. It may be integrated into one of the windows now, not 100% sure. And then coming around to the very forward, no pun intended, style front end, you can see you have a chrome finish front bumper with a body colored cap there, chrome grille, and you can see exactly what I mean. The grille actually leans forward, and so do the headlamp lenses as well. Just standard reflector beam headlights with your high beams located down below, and then your turn signals are located on the side over here. So let's go ahead and open up the hood of this beast and see what it has. And taking a look, all you have to do is just pull on this lever right here. It did take me a couple of minutes to find that, actually. So that's, maybe that's just me. I'm sure it is just me being dumb. Also, I did fail to mention, you can see your cab lights are on up there as well. And your third brake light is not LED. So coming around to the front, opening the hood of the Ram is a very easy thing to do. All you have to do is just push left on this tab and lift, and it is hydraulically assisted, and it'll basically open itself. After you flip the tab, it'll just kind of take over and do it for you. So what you're seeing is Chrysler's corporate 5.7-liter Hemi V8, and what Hemi means is you have hemispherical heads and hemispherical shaped pistons. If you want to see more in depth on that, there's tons of videos on YouTube that have a Hemi engine broken down. Obviously, I'm not going to be breaking down an engine today, but it produces tons of power and sounds great, and I'll add the power and fuel economy specifications into the annotations here. Pretty clean engine. There is a lot of pollen, but everything's covered in pollen right here, right now, so that's just how it is. You do also have a complimentary dirt dauber's nest over there, so that's fantastic. And then to close the hood, just pull down on it, and it'll kind of help you lower itself again. So we'll go ahead and check out the interior and see what it has to offer. Doors do feel nice and hefty. They're not hollow or cheap or rattly feeling. Go ahead and turn off the headlamps, turn off the bed light and the hazards. So starting off with the interior, you can see that it does have an automatic up driver's side window as well. Both the passenger and driver's side are automatic up, whereas the two rear windows are just manual controls. Starting off top of the door, materials up here are soft to the touch. Wherever you see this beige portion, it is soft to the touch on top, but wherever it's black is a harder plastic material. You do have a rubberized material right here around the window switches, power mirrors, power windows, power window locks, and power door locks. Again, soft touch up here, but it is harder touch back here. Very cushiony armrest, feels very nice and plush. I do like how they give you the little chrome accents just to kind of break it up. You have several areas of storage on the door, so I like that a lot. You could just put like business cards or your cell phone or whatever down here. Materials down here, all of them are hard to the touch, but they are grained pretty nicely, and you do have a cup holder in your door pocket, which I'm not sure if this came standard or not, because it's just kind of foamy. But again, materials are hard, all of them, and you do have like this strange lined pattern in there. Not really sure why. When you rub on it, it just makes it sound more hollow, but it's not. It's all very solid plastic. I can barely bend that, and fit and finish is done pretty well. There's no sharp plastic cut lines or anything like that. And then your speaker grill's located up here. Now closing the door, coming over here, you have your automatic headlight controls, bed light controls, and your panel dim. You have your air vent right here. Very nicely done air vent, very well executed. I like that a lot. Right above your headlight controls, and then you have your defrost vent right up there. All of the dash materials are hard plastic, but that's fine. This is a truck, and I'm fine with hard plastic in a truck as long as they don't sound hollow like they did in my Tahoe. For those of you who remember, it was an 05 Chevy Tahoe, and dash materials certainly don't sound hollow at all. I think they're just fine. Taking a look at the gauges, you have a very nice gauge cluster, very easy to read, and lights up beautifully when you have the headlights on, but obviously you're not going to be able to see that right now because it is daytime. And then you have your driver information display right up here. All that is controlled via these little buttons right here, and then you have your cruise control over here. All your multifunction controls are located back on the steering wheel. You can see you have 3 buttons on this side, and there's 3 more over here. That's just how Chrysler does their multifunction controls. We'll go ahead and rev the engine up from the inside a little bit. It does have a rev limiter around 4,000 RPM, but sounds incredible. It's very quiet when the truck is completely closed up with the windows up and doors shut, but from outside the exhaust has a really nice bark and growl to it. Coming down, you can see you have your wiper controls right here, and then you just push in for mist, and you do get a tap for 3 blinks. I like that a lot. That should come standard on all cars. It's just a convenience and almost a safety feature, because some people could think, oh, I'll just flick it and it'll blink 3 times, but it doesn't, not on all vehicles. Taking a look right here, you do have a little storage area for maybe a pin or 2, and it does say Dodge up here, so I'm not sure if this is a Dodge or a Ram. I will find out and have it correct in the title. So whatever you see in the title is what the truck actually is called, so I'm not really sure what's up with that when the key says Ram. Coming down the center stack, very classic design center stack, just very reminiscent of Dodges of past. The interiors really haven't changed a lot. It's been more of an evolution on the interior rather than a revolution. So there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. You do have an older head unit here. Post-refresh models do come with an upgraded Uconnect system. This one does not have any form of Uconnect at all, but that's fine. I mean, this system gets the job done, and the stereo is fantastic in it. It's not the Infinity unit or anything like that, but it still sounds great to me. Sounds almost as good as the system in my Fusion, and that's pretty high praise. You do have your 4-wheel drive controls right here: 2-wheel drive, auto 4-wheel drive lock, and 4 low. And then you have neutral located right there if you have to pull the truck behind an RV or anything like that. Now here's your key slot, and that is a very interestingly placed key slot. I think the new ones come with push button start there, but this one just still has the old key. Nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's functional and I could get easily used to it. You have very simple climate control, 4 fan speed, recirculate, air conditioning, and then your different zones right there. And then your temperatures there in the middle. You have your tow haul mode for your transmission, traction control, hazards, and then your power for your 115 volt power outlet right there. So I like that they include that, especially right up here, because that's a great place to charge your iPad or your phone or something. Looking in this little cup holder storage area, it does flip down, and I'll pull my phone out of there and show you. Just flips up just like that. So you would have it like that if you had a third person riding in the center. But if you don't, I would keep it down, because that's a great place to keep your phone where you can see it, should somebody be calling or anything like that. 2 12-volt power outlets. This one runs on battery power, but this one has to have the vehicle's key in it. You can see by the key on there, as opposed to the battery over here. And it does say RAM here, so I'm not really sure what's going on. I'll figure it out though, and again, whatever you see in the title will be correct. You do have little business card slots right there. Maybe, I guess you could put business cards in there, I'm not sure. But we'll see. You do have a removable storage area right here. The whole tray is not removable, just the little rubber liner. I just have a couple of things in there, pen and temporary parking pass for college. Now coming to the center console, it is lined in vinyl. It is nicely padded as well. Lifting up, you get a huge storage area in here, 12-volt power outlet. And one thing I like about Ram trucks that they've always had is the customizable storage area, if I can figure out how to work it. You just pop it down like that. So if you need just a giant flat storage area, you have that. But also if you need a divided storage area, which is probably what I would like, you can just pop those up and you can have 3 different compartments for your storage. You also have a coin storage area there as well. Now flipping this up reveals the third middle seat. Pretty nice seat, honestly. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I can see how it would get a little uncomfortable for larger passengers if you don't have like a headrest back here, which these don't. And then your seat belt's located right there in the middle. And you do also get a storage compartment under the seat, but you don't have a liner, so don't put things in there that are going to rattle around. But it is convenient that they give you that. I am glad that they have that. So that about wraps it up for the front of the truck. No, it doesn't, because we haven't covered the dual tier glove boxes, which lid is hard to the touch, and it is hydraulically assisted, so it'll kind of help you open it a little bit. You can see how it just bounces right back up. And then coming to the normal glove box, it is not damped, but it is pretty decently sized, so it's very pretty useful. You could probably put maybe an iPad mini in there, maybe 2 of them. Not that you would have 2 iPad minis. Coming to the headliner materials are very plush, very nice and soft. You have your mirror and vanity light for the driver, as well as your passenger over here. So I'm glad that they didn't skimp on that. Sun visors do feel a little cheap. It's just like one giant chunk of plastic. Not really a fan of that. But the lids do feel sturdy enough, and they also do fold out. I'll demonstrate on this one because it's easier to reach. And they also do slide out to block sun that could be coming in from the window over there. So you also have your lights up here. I'm trying to move a little quickly because I know this video is getting long. You have your lights up here. I believe that's where the sunroof controls will be, should this one be equipped with one, but it isn't. Power sliding rear glass, you can see it moving back there. And then you have your home link controls right there, as well as an auto dimming rear view mirror. So we'll go ahead and shut it down and we'll check out the back seat. If I can pop the key out of there. I do like the chrome finish door handles as well. They are very high quality feeling. So opening up the back doors feel just as hefty and solid as the front. I really like how solid this truck feels, and a lot of people hate on Dodges, but I'm not really getting why. Well, we'll talk about more of that in the test drive. Materials back here do not follow through, but the armrest is still nicely padded, but back here, the top portion of the door is a harder plastic material. You have your window switch there. Now, step-up height is a little tall, but it's not too bad. Again, doors sound nice and solid when you shut them. Loads of room back here in typical truck fashion. Very easy to slide your feet and get comfortable, and so it's just a nice place to spend time. I have my owner's manual for my Fusion in here for projects that we'll talk about later on. But you do get dual map pockets, so that's nice that they include those. The back passengers do also get rear air vents, so that is nice as well. You just control them like that. You're all familiar with air vents, you know how they work. And even the third row passenger has a pretty nice foot area there, or the third seat passenger rather, not third row. This doesn't have a third row. You also have cup holders down here, as well as integrated into the fold down center armrest, which is pretty nicely padded. It's a decent storage area back there. You also have tie downs for, I believe, what would be a child's seat, but I'm not sure. Headroom in the back is great, and seat comfort is a whole lot better than our Ford. The seats are nicely reclined, and you do have plenty of room to stretch out, and you also get plenty of thigh support as well, which is something that I can't say about our Ford. But I am a little bit taller than most people, so smaller people could get comfortable in the back of Fords, but I can get comfortable in the back of this one, so pretty much anybody can, unless you're just a giant. You do also get the dual tier storage area that carries over from the front, so that is nice. And I will show you a neat little trick that these seats do. You can just raise them up like that, and then you get little storage areas in the floor. So you do have a trailer hitch cover in there, so that's interesting. And then popping this back down, you can see you do have a storage area up under there, and I believe the jack storage is somewhere up underneath here. Maybe on the other side, I'm not sure. But these are spring-assisted lids, and they feel nicely damped. And then to fold the seats down, just pull back down on it. So it's as simple as that. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and set up some cameras, and we'll take it for a test drive. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started here. Again, what you're hearing is Dodge's 5.7 liter Hemi V8. And it is paired to a 6-speed automatic. And you have manual shiftability via the shift column there. So one of the first things that you'll notice when you get in the Ram to drive is the hood is very tall. This is a very tall truck and a very big truck. It just feels very, I don't want to say fat because it doesn't feel fat, but at the same time it's just a truck of larger stature, shall we say. But when you have a truck that's this large, you do lose a little bit in the handling department. I'm not saying it handles badly, but it does handle like a truck. This one drives a lot more like a truck than, say, an F-150. And I've yet to drive the new GM trucks, but as opposed to the other GM trucks, this one drives the most truck-like out of all of them. So, not necessarily a bad thing. You just feel like you are driving a big boy, and this is a big boy. So I mean, that's what you're gonna get when you drive a vehicle this large. There is quite a bit of body lean going around corners, but that's to be expected. That's just how trucks that are this big are. You're just gonna have a lot of body lean. That's just how it is. I guess everybody's getting their yard done today. But ride in this truck, there are some manhole covers here that I'm going over. It does ride a little bit stiffer, and that's probably due in part to the four-wheel drive system on this one. I know two-wheel drive truck is going to ride a little bit smoother than a four-wheel drive, but this one really doesn't ride all that bad. And once you get it out on the highway, cruising highway speeds, however fast you dare to go on the highway, it's a great highway cruiser. But we'll go ahead and pull out here and put our foot down and see what it'll do. And there's 60 already. So as you can see, this truck is quick as crap. This is a very fast truck, and I would be willing to say that this one is just as quick as our F-150 EcoBoost, if not quicker. And it obviously sounds better. The F-150 EcoBoost is you just get kind of this hum and a whoosh from the turbos. But with this truck, you get that nice V8 growl. And I just had another Ram pull out in front of me, so that wasn't very nice of him. I hate when people pull out in front of me. But when you put your foot down in our F-150, you just get like this whoosh and a hum. But in this one, you get that real truck V8 growl. And it is a growl. It growls down low and then just kind of starts to yell as you get to the top of the rev band. And it's not a bad sound when I say yell. When I say yell, I mean you just get a wide open throttle, raw, in-your-face V8 sound. But it is pretty quiet from the inside. I know from the outside, as you heard in the exhaust clip, it is quite a bit louder than some of the other trucks in the market, and I'm perfectly fine with that. In my opinion, if you're going to be driving a truck that is is a V8, and if you're going to be driving a truck, you want it to have that sound, and you want it to be a little louder. Trucks are in-your-face vehicles, and I like an in-your-face sound to go with it. Some people don't. Some people don't like to hear anything, but my personal preference, I like to hear the engine, and I like to hear the exhaust growl. And the Ram definitely satisfies me there. As far as interior ergonomics, they're pretty good. Steering wheel does feel pretty much right on center, but it is not telescoping, so it is a little bit harder to find a driving position that is comfortable for me. My word, this Ram drives slow. So it is a little bit harder to find a driving position that's exactly how I would want it, because the steering wheel doesn't telescope. Good night. So yeah, passing power is plentiful in this truck. It just gets out of its own way very quickly. But the driving position in here is very good, I think. I think it's a very comfortable driving position. You feel like you feel decently in the truck, but you also feel like you're on top of it a little bit. So it gives you the nice balance between comfort and command, I guess would be the proper terms for that. And the seats in here are very comfortable as well. You have tons of seat adjustment down here. You have adjustable lumbar, tilting, sliding, recline, and this seat is all power for the driver's side, so that is a nice feature as well. I'm glad they include that on a lower trim truck. So you're not left with a poorly equipped truck at all. The head unit is the only thing that does make it feel a little bit old, honestly. The head unit is basically the same head unit that my dad had in his 2003 Dodge Ram 2500. So that does need a little bit of updating, honestly. So like I said, this interior is more evolution than revolution. This very much reminds me of the design that my dad's truck had. It just wasn't as forward and it wasn't as modern looking, but it was back then. So we'll punch it again. And you can see pulling uphill, this thing just pulls so hard. And golly, this truck is fun to drive. The steering, however, feels very disconnected. I don't get a very connected feel from the steering. And I believe it's a hydraulic system, but I could be wrong. But again, there is a little bit of play, especially when you get up to higher speeds. There's about a 1/4 inch of play either direction you go before it'll actually start to do anything. And then it feels like you have to turn the steering wheel a lot to get not a whole lot done. But maybe that's just how the steering system is supposed to be, and maybe that's how they wanted it tuned. I'm not one to judge steering because my daily driver is my Fusion, and the steering rack in it is quick and darty. So, but you can kind of see what I mean. I'm watching how much I'm having to move my hands around on the steering wheel just to make a 90-degree turn. So it's not bad at all. Overall, I think this is a fantastic truck. And to answer my question at the beginning of the video, where does this truck fall with the introduction of all the new trucks? I think it's still a very capable player in the full-size truck market. But I will say this, if you're going to want a truck that's going to be great at heavy-duty towing, but you don't want a heavier-duty truck, go with the F-150 because it's a great tow vehicle. But if you need just a lighter-duty truck to haul things around in the bed and all that crap, so I think the Ram is where that fits best. And GM, I don't really know about GM anymore. I'm just kind of losing faith in them, honestly. But overall, this Ram is a fantastic truck, and I would recommend one to anybody who's in the full-size truck market who doesn't need to do a ton of heavy-duty towing. I think this one would be a great truck, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.